Bree, and welcome to my channel, Just Breezy. If you're new here, I would love for you to consider subscribing. Just be sure you hit that bell for notifications because I don't want you to miss out. We upload weekly content to share resources, help spread awareness, and tell some of life's stories because like we say, life isn't always just breezy, but together it can be a little easier. Guys, you know, I had no idea that when I decided to make that part of my intro that those words would mean so much to me when I say them. We're going through something right now that I truly believe that together it does make it a little easier. When we reach out, when we say, hey, how are you doing? When we check in on people. And that's basically what this video is. It doesn't have the bells and whistles of other things and fancy graphics and probably won't get as many likes and shares as other videos, and that's okay because a goal of my channel is to create sort of a community, connecting with people, bring awareness to things. And I wanted to check in. I wanted to say to everyone that follows my channel, to my friends, how are you doing? You know, I go on live over on Facebook basically daily now, and I ask that question because I truly want to know how everyone is. Depending on who I speak to, depending on the time of day, the weather, the situations people are in, the answers that I get to that vary from I'm doing okay to I am struggling so much on a daily basis. And, you know, during my lives, I talk about how, you know, there's that saying that says, you never know what somebody's going through, so always be kinder, you know, than maybe you normally would because we're all going through something like that. And the state of the world right now, I feel such a connection to people when I see them, if I'm going for a walk or when I'm in the store getting my essentials, because I know that each one of us are going through something similar. Similar in that we're all affected by coronavirus, COVID-19 in some way. Different in that some people are affected on a higher scale than, you know, I could ever imagine. Whether it's a family member that has passed away from it, that is currently, you know, going through treatment for it, whether they are completely alone in their home right now or trying to manage a house full of kids. And right now my situation is I have two kids. I have two kids that I'm, you know, trying to do the homeschool thing with, trying to keep them busy and occupied, trying not to lose my ever living every day. And like we're in week 3-ish of it now, and I've reached a point of just truly being grateful for the situation that we're in. Not that it's easy. It is not by any means easy every day. And I'm not always rocking the homeschooling thing. Sometimes I have the schedule for the kids and other times I'm like, could you just put a movie on and leave me alone? Because that's where I'm at some days. But I've really been trying to hold on to the gratitude of the fact that I get to be home in my house, safe with my children. I have food in the refrigerator. I wish my husband was home. I wish he wasn't deemed an essential worker, you know, and he's out there and that gives me some anxiety. But overall, knock on wood, our immediately quarantine bubble, it's okay. You know, it's okay. And if there's a day where we're struggling with the groundhog feeling of the day and the boredom and the when is this going to be over, I remind myself that there are some people, some of you who might be watching, that are in a much more dire situation than I am. And to all of you, I just say that I'm thinking of you and that I hope that you get on the other side of this quickly and healthy, you know, and safe. I also wanted to just share, I don't know, some thoughts I've been having, you know, and some words of wisdom that I've been picking up from different people, the Tony Robbins and the Rachel Hollises of the world, and just some really smart people out there. And some of those things are that when we're in a situation that is so out of our control, and it's out of our control what's happening, we have to focus on the things that we do have control over. And oftentimes the only things that you have control over is your reaction and your attitude. Think about that. Really, you have control over your reaction to the situation and the attitude that you bring into it. other than that, there's not really much else that you have control over. And that's a scary thought. When we feel like we are in control, and before this, there were probably other things that were out of our control that we just assumed we had control over. But when we feel like the normalcy of our routine is rocked, our children not being in school, many of us not being at work, many of businesses shutting down, those are big things. Those are big things that oftentimes would anchor us into the everyday normalcy, security of our day. And when those are stripped away, we're left to feel vulnerable. We're left to feel unsafe. We're left to feel like we are in this sinking ship. And the truth is, this isn't permanent. It feels permanent. There are some days where I'm like, is this permanent? Am I ever going to be able to stand next to somebody that isn't 6 feet away? But it isn't permanent. It's going to take a while to get on the other side of it. It's going to take people who are much smarter than I am to figure this out. But the thing that we can control is our attitude and our reactions, and that's not always easy. You know, I've shared very openly that I've struggled with anxiety for years, that I'm now on medication for it, thankfully, because I would be having a much more difficult time during this if I wasn't. I've reached out to friends that are now on medication that never needed it because they just need something to help them through this. Guys, the thing is, there are people out there that are struggling so hard with anxiety from this, with depression, with feelings of isolation, with feelings of not being understood, with feelings of despair. And we need to sort of reach out to each other and check in on each other and say, hey, how are you doing? And if you're not okay, let's talk it out. But we have control over our reaction and our attitude. We have control to be intentional in our mindset and to say, you know what, the weather today is crappy. I'm looking out my door and it's crappy. And I'm bored. I'm bored. And the kids are being a little crazy. But I can choose to find some joy in the day. And that's what I've been trying to do. I've been finding the things that bring me joy during the day that maybe wouldn't be in my life had this never happened. And I'm not saying I'm glad this happened. I'm not by any means. But I can't wish away the days anymore. I can't say, oh, I can't wait for today and tomorrow and the next day to be over to get us to a better place, because nobody is guaranteed today, tomorrow, the next day and whatnot. We're guaranteed today. And that doesn't mean that you say, oh, I'm so happy to be in this situation, but can't live every day feeling so depressed and isolated and anxiety ridden. And again, so much easier said than done. We're all human. We all get to feel those emotions, but I reach out to you to just say that if you're feeling those emotions more than you are not, try to find some way out of it. Reach out to a friend. Get back into a routine. Get back into waking up and maybe getting dressed. I haven't fully subscribed to that. I'm wearing pajama pants right now. But we have to get back into things that bring us comfort and safety and joy. We owe that to ourselves. And if you're somebody that's home alone and you don't have, the kids and the family, and you're feeling super isolated, please pick up a phone. Please pick up a phone and reach out to somebody. And if I'm that person, if I'm in your circle, feel free to do that. You shouldn't feel that you're so alone and isolated during this. It sounds so cheesy, we're all in this together, but we are. We're all in this together on some level, and we all need to be there for each other. So that's it. That's my spiel for this video. It's just me saying that I'm here if anybody needs anything from me, a phone call, a shopping trip. If they need something and they can't get to a store, if I could be of help, I would love to do that. If I don't know you personally and you're somewhere else in the world and you're struggling, just know you're not alone. There's so many people that are struggling too, right along with you, but try to do your best to find that lifeboat of joy. It's there, you just have to look for it. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, as always, I so appreciate you supporting the channel, watching the videos, liking them, commenting, sharing them, and all of that good stuff. And I love you so much, and we will chat again soon.